Hey buddy, so today I thought I'd spill some beans about implementing DNS for Windows Server IaaS VMs right here on Azure. Now, DNS, as you probably know, is the unsung hero of the network world, acting as a sort of post office for the internet. It's where the rubber meets the road, making sure when we type in a domain name, our requests find their way to the right box, right? Let's get down to business in a more laid-back way. Imagine you're organizing a gig, and everyone needs a way to find the address. You lay down signs and directions, so they know where to go. DNS is kind of like that but for your machines and the internet. When you've got a bunch of Azure VMs running on this beautiful IaaS platform, DNS is what'll tell them where they should send their network traffic. It's cool and kind of essential, almost like the blueprint to network life. So, here's where we come in. We are going to teach our Azure VMs, our virtual friends, how to read those DNS signs, the Azure DNS in this case, so the network knows where to send all kinds of important stuff. This includes not just services, but also the little avenues like email. Think of DNS as the GPS for your enterprise infrastructure on the digital superhighway. But don't just take my word for it, let's dive in deep into Azure, where we are going to lay down this blueprint for our DNS. Now, the first thing we gotta do is set up some Azure resources like the DNS zone in Azure. Cause you know, the DMZ is the first line of defense, but DNS isn't the bulldozer, it's the guide. So let's create a simple DNS zone in Azure and start tying it all together. Think of it like setting our own mailing address, but for network resources. I'll walk you through creating one here, just like we'd be doing on a real day out in Azure. Now, I won't just stand there, so I'll point you in the right direction of where this information lives now because, let's be honest, nobody's got time to sift through all of Azure. What we are doing is like setting the stage, where now all of our Windows Server VMs can find their domain name and IP address backstage passes. We are gonna configure this DNS zone, linking it to your Active Directory and also ensure that our Azure firewalls and networking services are all dancing to the tunes of DNS. But wait, implementing DNS isn't like setting fireworks on your first try. It's smooth sailing at first, but then the occasional rainstorm makes things a bit trickier. You gotta deal with some serious troubleshooting, like if our DNS is acting up, it's not just a sign of bad weather, it's more like our own party planners making miscues. That's where advanced troubleshooting comes in, diving into logs and testing different scenarios. We're looking for the gremlins under the bed of Azure networking, and once found, we'll wrangle them into place. In the end, when we implement this DNS magic, it's not just about making our machines happy, it's also about upping the security, making sure our digital communications look good, with all the right labels on our identities. We are talking about managing our domain name system effectively for our enterprise's robust DNS management in Azure. That's where we keep the blueprint that sets everything in Azure. But this is not just for the tech gods. This journey and the DNS wizardry we bring forth is about the larger picture. We are looking at all these as pieces in a business puzzle, ensuring the network is the backbone that supports our enterprise's flow and functionality. DNS becomes the cornerstone, linking different Azure services to on-premises and cloud environments, building bridges rather than walls. So, by wrapping up our DNS setup, we are making sure that everyone plays nice on the networking field. We are avoiding the misfire of emails here or there, The hiccup of a failed service lookup. This setup's smoother than a jazz solo on a quiet night, and it scales just like our growing enterprise needs, all the while keeping things secure. And hey, if this feels like a jam session that just keeps on spinning, remember, I'm here. But you want to make this process your own, right? With a solid plan and a touch of patience, implementing DNS for Windows servers in Azure is a breeze. And when you are done with the setup, let me share a treasure tip. Check out neeraj.qzz.io. You can subscribe there to get the latest nerdy cloud and tech knowledge straight to your mailbox with regular tips and tricks. And remember, whether you are setting up your first DNS or refining it, Azure's got you covered with tools and docs. Happy DNSing on the virtual streets of Azure.